feel like it's not okay because you see all of those people and things, showcasing that. So you may feel pressure to say, well, dang, I need to like have these new goals and new resolutions, and I need to be creating a vision board and doing all these things. But in reality, it's okay if you didn't and if you don't have it all figured out.
Some tears, some stress, but I count my blessings.
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Ashley, and I love creating just different videos here on YouTube, showing my life and different things that I'm learning and is into. So for this video, I really wanted to just share some gentle reminders that I'm learning for walking into this new year. I know with the new year, it can come a lot of pressure to have everything figured out and all these new resolutions and new goals, but it's also okay if you don't have it all figured out or any resolutions at the moment. And so I really just wanted to share, once again, reminders I have to tell myself walking into this new year, and just knowing that it's okay to take things slow, take things exactly as they are, and that even though it's a new year, it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. So without further ado, let's actually get into the video as I share my gentle reminders for the new year with you. The first reminder is kind of what I've been talking about in the beginning of this video, which is it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. And I really want to emphasize that because I feel like on YouTube and just like any social media platform, so many people are sharing their New Year resolutions, how to be, the new you, and new goals and vision boards and all these things. And while those videos are great, not to take away from them, I think that is perfectly fine as well if you are in a chapter where you're feeling very inspired and you're creating all these new resolutions, new goals. But it's also okay if you're not in that. And sometimes it can feel like it's not okay because you see all of those people and things, showcasing that. So you may feel pressure to say, well, dang, I need to like have these new goals and new resolutions, and I need to be creating a vision board and doing all these things. But in reality, it's okay if you didn't and if you don't have it all figured out. For me, walking into 2023 was definitely different than I had envisioned, that I had planned. I really thought that like I was gonna be the same, I'm gonna create my vision boards, I'm gonna, start my new workout plan, do all these things, and that just did not happen walking into 2023. I was recovering from a sinus infection, literally the 3 days prior to New Year's. So my body was not feeling it to do all these extra crazy things. Even if I wanted to, my body was like, did you seriously think that in a span of 48 hours, 24 hours, you were just gonna be like perfectly healed and fine? I mean, that would have been great, but at the same time, like, I had to give myself grace to know like you're literally recovering from a sinus infection and your body needs time. So literally as the clock struck 12, walking into the new year, I was in bed, cuddled up in blankets, drinking some tea, and really just trying to give my body the rest that it needed to recover from being sick. Also, the weather was extremely bad. I mean, it was raining, it was lightning, it was freezing. So people that even probably wanted to go out and do things really didn't because the weather just didn't allow it. In my area, some people lost power, lights, went off and things like that. So it was pretty much like you're staying in for this New Year's, which is totally fine because my mom was here and we just spent it inside. We made dinner, we watched a movie, I believe, that night. But my mom was also gentle with me because she knew like my daughter's sick and she's trying to recover. And at first I was beating myself up like, dang, why do I have to be sick, entering into the new year? This is time for me to be focusing on doing all these productive things. But it's like, no, this is really a sign from God to remind you that it's okay to take things just as they are. Because the reality of it is, even though it's a new year, even though it's January 1st, it's not like 2022 wasn't just here a week ago, or a month ago in a sense. And so it's like you have to still remind yourself of all the hard work you've done that year, and it's okay to take January 1st, January, the whole month, as an appreciation month, as a month to recover from all the hard work you've done, as a month to say, no, I didn't want to enter the new year with all these goals and vision plans and doing these things, because I had already labored so much and done so much in 2022 that guess what? When January 1st came, I just wanted to appreciate all the work I'd done. I just wanted to take things a little bit more slower, and I didn't want to have it all figured out. And so that's really my first gentle reminder that I had to take with me, literally because I was kind of stuck not doing anything, but also to share with you to know that it's okay if you didn't create the vision boards, if you didn't have this super productive first week of the new year. It's okay if you just took things slow, you gave your body the space that it needed to rest and appreciate all the hard work you've already done from the prior year. So the second gentle reminder that kind of can go hand in hand with this is to really acknowledge what season of life you're in. I was watching Elise Renee, the artist. I may be butchering that, so I'll put her name on the screen. But I was watching one of her videos, and she was really going into depth about the different seasons that you could be in. You just like we experience seasons in the world where we have fall, winter, spring, and summer. Your body can experience those seasons as well, even if the current environment is no longer in that season. So for example, in the winter, typically that is the months where you're resting, where it's very cold outside, you want to take things more easier, you don't want to do a lot of hard, laborious work, you probably just drinking more teas and eating more comforting foods, just again really highlighting that in your winter season you're taking things easy and slow. Now in the springtime is more so where that blossoming comes, where this is a season you can feel really creative, you can feel like ideas are starting to swarm your mind, you wanting to try new things. Again, words like blossoming, really embracing a new chapter, new growth, being creative and inspired, but you can also still take things fairly easy in this season as well. Then in the summer, that is where a lot of hard work comes. That's when you feel like your energy level is at an all-time high. You're really able to knock out a lot of tasks that maybe you just didn't have energy to do before, start that new workout plan, be more social with different friends. In the summer, it's a lot of warm weather, a lot of outdoor activities are now happening, more gatherings, things like that. And then in the fall, it's kind of a little preparation for the winter. Right now, you're easing into more comfortable things. You're taking things a little bit more slower than you would. Really just, again, preparing for that winter season where it's mostly going to be rest and not hard, crazy activities. And so that's kind of like a breakdown of the different seasons and what you can feel during them. Now again, a key factor is no matter what the current season is, that does not mean that that's what you have to feel. Some people thrive in the winter. They feel like they're at their highest, energy level is, amazing. They feel like they, love the cozy vibes, they love the coziness, so that they feel like this is the season for them. And in the summer, when it's really warm, it's like people are really social, they don't really thrive in that because maybe they're not as social a person, or the hot weather they're not a fan of. So, you really just have to identify with what season you're in. And it's okay if it's different than the current season we're in. For me, I realized that I was in my spring season. I really didn't feel a blossoming into this new year, and I had so many different creative thoughts, creative things that I wanted to do and accomplish, being more consistent with YouTube, really starting to work more on my creative side of fashion, and there's different things like that. But at the same time, I wasn't in this rush to have it all done and figured out right now. I was just allowing the creative thoughts and the inspiration I felt to just be, to write it down and to slowly cultivate them as they come, but not feeling like I have to be rushed and on this deadline. So that's number 2. What I would really just remind you is to take some time, sit with yourself and acknowledge what season you're in. And then once you've done that, give your body that. Oftentimes our body is in the winter, but we're still trying to like work super hard and do these things. And we're wondering why we're getting so burnt out or why we're getting so frustrated and so tired. It's because your body is not in that season that you're trying to push it in. Right now, your body is just requesting rest right now, requesting things to be taken a little bit more slower. And so again, back to my first point, maybe walking into January, you wasn't super energetic because guess what? It's still winter. And your body probably was still in recovery mode, still just wanting to take things slower, really, again, appreciate all that you've already done, and then ease into the new goals, the new chapters, and the new visions because they will come. The year just started. So that's like my second reminder for you. And myself, these are reminders that I had to be reminded of, and that is why I want to share. And the third reminder was a little bit personal, more personal for me, but all of them are personal. But it was a Bible verse. And this Bible verse is, for the plans I know I have for you, plans to prosper and not harm you. And it was so funny because it felt like I was seeing this verse and everything. I was doing my daily devotions on the Bible app. I highly request that app if you don't already have it. It's a really good app. But I was doing my daily devotions on that app, and that was the verse of the day. And I was like, wow, I haven't read this verse in a long time, but it was the reminder I needed walking into this new year, already feeling this pressure to just be like, God has you. It's okay, trust the process and not what you think you should be doing. And then I was on TikTok, just doing my little daily scroll on TikTok. And someone had posted a video saying, can I share a Bible verse with you? And sure enough, that was the Bible verse. I was like, wow, that's kind of funny. And then I was at work and I was writing in my work notebook, and then I closed it and I just read like the title of my work notebook, and that was the verse that was on there. I had bought this notebook like 2.5 years ago, right when I was about to really start my job in the Air Force and everything. And I loved that that was the verse on the notebook, so I got it. But I hadn't paid attention because I usually just open my notebook and get right to writing my to-dos or whatever like that. So that particular day, I had really paid attention to the front cover of my notebook, and I realized that was the verse on it. And I was just like, wow, this was really another reminder that I need this verse, and reassured that God has you. I know, maybe not everyone believes in God or spiritual, but really just trust that what is meant for you will be. And I walk in this verse every single day knowing I don't have to live in fear because I don't have it all figured out. I don't have to live in fear because other people, may look like they have it all organized and together, and I'm just kind of here. I don't have to live in fear because guess what? God has me. And I know that for the plans He has for me is to prosper. His plans are bigger than any plans I can, because guess what? There were moments and times where I would make the vision boards. I would write down all my goals and all these things. And by the end of the year, things could have went dramatically different than what I could ever imagine, but better, because our plans are just that, plans, but God plans are what's really going to prevail. Now, it's still good to make goals and, have visions for your future, but to not get so worked up in those things to where it's like, okay, that's your main focus. And when they don't go the way you maybe thought, now you're distraught. And so that's my last reminder. I really just feel like these 3 reminders was things I needed to be reminded of walking into this new year, to release that pressure of having it all figured out, to release that pressure of comparing myself to what my peers were doing and how they were starting their new year off, and to release that pressure of feeling like I had to be in control and I had to know all these things, and really just trust God, trust the process, trust that I'm exactly where I need to be. And so it is January. It is a new month. Be thankful that you made it to this new month. I don't know exactly how your 2022 was, but I know that there probably were some moments where it was tough and it was difficult and it was hard. But think about now how you have entered into a new year, and that in itself is a blessing. That in itself is something we should be celebrating. And I don't know how my life is going to be moving forward in the next years to come, Okay, I'm recording. Don't be making these crazy noises. But I do kind of want to make it a tradition for me that walking into January, I don't feel the need to have it all figured out. But instead, I take that month and I really just acknowledge all the hard work I've done the previous year. I take that month to really just think about the blessing in itself that I made it to a new year, and sadly, not everyone did. I really take that month as acknowledging what my body needs and giving it to me. Not comparing, not, focus on anybody else, but just me. And so with that, I hope that this video made sense. I hope that you were able to take away at least one thing from this video. And I want to end with just saying again, it is okay to just be. It is okay to just exist. Yes, it's a new year, but guess what? It is just that, a new year. You still have time to really focus in on what the things you want to do and accomplish, and I am believing with you that everything that is meant will be. And so I hope that you're having an amazing day, an amazing new year so far. Stay encouraged, stay loved, and just flow and listen to your body and give it whatever it needs. As always, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And until the next video, talk to you soon.